Hello, my name is Jennifer Lee Levitz. I am the host of Unleash the Power of Age. It's a program from the Rose Baker Senior Center here in Gloucester, Massachusetts. I would also like to let people know that we have a joint area senior council on aging with Essex and Rockport and Manchester by the Sea. And those programs can be seen on channel 67. We are going to be on channel 12 and on YouTube. Okay, I have guests today. Let me get this straight. Okay, Dr. O'Neill Parazzi. Therese is her first name. Hello, Therese.
Hello, Jennifer Lee.
And with her and with both of us, actually, we have a student of Therese's, Margaret Reagan. Hello, Margaret.
Hello, Jennifer Lee.
Okay. So as we go on, you will explain how you are a student. And I haven't told you anything about what Therese and Margaret do. I'm going to let Therese, Dr. O'Neill Parazzi, explain what this show is about. Go ahead, Therese.
Thank you, Jennifer Lee. And hello, everyone. I'm honored to have been invited by Jennifer Lee to join you all today. And I'm so pleased that my student Margaret accepted my invitation to join me. I am a professor of speech language pathology at Northeastern University here in Massachusetts and Boston. And one of my very big areas is cognitive ability or thinking ability. I do a lot of research, clinical and service with acquired brain injury survivors, people after strokes and traumatic brain injury. I work with Alzheimer's patients and individuals with other kinds of dementia. And I also do a lot of work with healthy older people. Because of COVID-19 and all of the isolation and lack of stimulation that all of us have experienced over this past year, the idea of cognitive exercises, not just with acquired brain injury survivors, but with healthy older individuals as well, has become a very big focus and interest of mine. And Margaret and I have been invited to speak today about a cognitive exercise program that I've launched for interested, healthy, older individuals to basically exercise their brain, get the COVID cobwebs out, and get those cognitive thinking abilities working again.
I'll be first in line.
We'll take good care of you.
Really, so basically you're talking about ways that we can learn to keep our brains functioning in a
Yes.
healthy manner.
Yes, that's correct. Just like we exercise our bodies, and that's important, it's also important to exercise your brain.
Terrific. Margaret?
Hello. So I am Margaret. I am a second-year graduate student at Northeastern, getting my master's in speech language pathology, and I'm going to be graduating in just a few weeks. So that's very exciting. And I've had Dr. O'Neill Parazzi for multiple classes at Northeastern, and I'm also in her cognitive community lab, which I have been in since I started at Northeastern.
Okay, and why are you interested in this subject? I mean, you're a young, active person.
I'm very interested in neurology and in the neurology in addition to all the aspects of speech language pathology. So over the course of my experience at Northeastern, especially in Dr. O'Neill Parazzi's lab, I've become very interested in all the different aspects of cognition and its relationship to communication, especially, and also in my own clinical practices while at Northeastern as well. I've been able to work with a variety of adult patients and clients and addressing these needs with them.
Okay, so Therese, is it okay if I keep calling you Therese and not doctor?
Please call me Therese. That's fine. Yes.
Therese, I'm trying to think of how to say this. Duh. So, uh, w- how how can you do this? Can you do this lab work? Can you work with people? Um, do you work in groups? Do you work one-on-one? Can you work not in person? Can you work in person? How can you work in person? It's a big lump of how can we do this now?
Yes. In some ways, I think COVID and isolation made a lot of things difficult. In other ways, it forced us, I think, to have to learn to, all of us have to learn to use technologies perhaps more than we did before, which in itself has been great cognitive exercise or brain exercise for lots of us. So in terms of the cognitive exercise program that I'm running, it could be done in person. And it's something that people can do on their own. What we're offering and what we're doing at this point is either on the phone or through Zoom. And on the phone, it's obviously one-on-one. On Zoom, it can be one-on-one or in groups where we're engaging in various cognitive exercise activities to benefit everybody.
About the technology, some of us have been more successful than others being able to utilize this. All right, so can you describe to me, either one or and both of you actually, what these exercises look like, what it's like to work with you?
Yes. So one important thing I think to say, and I'll pass this off to Margaret in a few moments, is that in order to be exercise, again, whether it's physical or cognitive, it needs to be challenging. It needs to be something that you're doing on a regular basis. And hopefully it's something that you enjoy so that you keep doing it. And in terms of the cognitive exercises that we're doing on the phone or via Zoom, these are not physical exercises, but more thinking exercises that we actually identify with the person or people that we're working with. So in our first conversation, we explore with the person their interests, their hobbies, things they enjoy. Maybe actually they may not even be aware of brain exercises that they're already doing. And once we discover those, we can use those as a springboard for what we then do in our weekly ongoing phone call or Zoom sessions. And Margaret, you want to take it from there?
Sure. So I have been working with one client so far. And like Dr. O'Neill Perazzi said, we begin by doing this kind of informal interview, and based on their responses and their own concerns or ideas that they have, we get started from there. So I actually began with my client by doing a brief cognitive test to kind of get a baseline and make sure there's no large deficits in any specific areas of their cognition. And from there, I've been able to have fun with personalizing our sessions and exercises to things that they enjoy, that they might have concerns about. So that would be make the challenging factor, and go from there.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you if you can be specific. So when you say you're doing a little cognitive fishing, you're finding out, making sure that I'm not that I don't have issues or conditions, and you want to know that. How do you find that out? What would you, let's make believe that I'm doing this. And what are some of the things that you would ask me or talk to me about to give you that information? The
So,
first
uh,
part.
So we only do that if a person has a particular concern. That's not a routine. We don't routinely
Oh,
assess or
okay.
screen at people. But if you said to us, I'm worried I'm getting Alzheimer's disease, then we would ask you some questions that include orientation questions. We would talk about, explore your memory, and word finding abilities. I think it's important to understand, and this is one of the things we try to do, is that as people get older, memory doesn't always work the way it used to. And it's not always as easy to find words like it used to be. But the difference between healthy, normal aging and, let's say, Alzheimer's is the frequency with which those things occur, or how quickly you bounce back, or how eventually you get to what you wanted to get to. And so that's more the norm for what we do during the calls or the Zooms. It's when someone has a very specific concern that
I
we
see.
give them a test that,
I see. I see.
yeah,
Okay. And
yeah.
then, so you found out that I probably am not about to be diagnosed with Alzheimer's. I have normal um, or expected lapses in finding words. Oh my
Yeah.
God. And and that I just want to make sure I stay at least on that level and maybe improve a little. And
Yeah.
so you found that out. Now what do we do?
So I would say to you, Jennifer Lee, I was complimenting you on the photo that's behind you before we started this interview, and you shared that you love photography. So I might ask you to, in future calls, between calls, take some pictures, and in future calls, show those to me, and let's talk about them. We might talk about different photographers we both like. You might then say, oh, and besides photography, I really enjoy reading. And right now on PBS, there's this great Ernest Hemingway biography by Ken Burns. And then I might say, oh, well, what if we were to read some short stories by Hemingway together in between our meetings? And when we meet again, we could talk about those. And that might be a way that we would proceed.
Okay. That sounds like fun.
That's the idea. When exercise is enjoyable, you're going to want to do it and you're going to keep doing it, right? When exercise is painful, it's harder to make and keep the commitment. Margaret, do you have any comments about that?
No, yes, I completely agree. Definitely the challenging factor has to be there, but also it's very important that there's some level of enjoyment as well, for sure.
Okay. So are you enjoying these? I mean, when you're doing them, what is your enjoyment?
I love doing them. I've worked with other clients in different settings on cognitive rehabilitation before, and I think this is such an awesome way to really make it individualized to a specific person and get creative, which I love doing, and also feel like I'm really helping someone and educating them as well.
Okay. So typically um this will look a little different with each local senior center or organization where you're being sponsored. But typically, I think it's funny. What was my question? Typically, how long does this go on for? So you meet, you get to know each other a little bit. You might suggest something to work on for next time. How often and for how many times is this typically, if there is such a thing as typically, done?
Yeah. So the program is designed to be a weekly meeting. I'd say on average 30 minutes, roughly 30 minutes. We don't have a clock and, it's not regimented, but roughly 30 minutes once a week. And as far as how long, it's for as long as a person's interested, hopefully. I've got lots of student volunteers who are trained and who are CORI cleared through your organization. And so, it's up to the individual. We want this to be worthwhile and meaningful for the people who join us. So we kind of let them drive, really.
Great. And so far you've focused on individuals. What might a little group, say there are a couple of people who know each other, maybe 3, 4, even 5, who know each other and used to get together all the time and haven't had a chance to do that. And could they use this as a way to, while they're getting their brains fixed, worked out, be with each other.
Sure.
You know?
We would be able to do that through a group Zoom session. And a couple of ideas that come to my mind, and Margaret, you may have others too, would be a book group, a reading group, which is a very natural event. And the other one I can think of would be current events, or particularly politics these days.
Oh,
I would imagine, as long as it was enjoyable, would stimulate a lot of great challenging discussions and thoughts and ideas. And interaction. And so those are a couple of my ideas. Margaret, are there others that you might have?
Book club was the first thing that ran through my mind. Definitely.
you know, there's some of the ladies that who used to at the senior center at Rose Baker, we would show a movie. There would be a special lunch on Thursdays, and then there would be a movie. And I was
Yeah.
wondering, and they would get together, have the lunch, go to the movie. But wouldn't it be fun to maybe, is it possible to then talk about a movie?
Absolutely. Margaret, do you see that happening? Would you see yourself doing that?
Yeah, definitely.
I
Okay.
think we'd have people watch the movie between the sessions, but
Yeah,
yeah,
the
that
movie.
would be a great way to exercise the brain, remembering the details, retelling some of the story. You know, who were the actors and what other movies have they been in, and you know, so forth and so on. Yeah.
Right, right. This is not what I was expecting. I have to
Okay.
tell you, I had asked you ahead of time to send me some information about the kind of work, about the kind of work that you do, the areas, and it was about cognition, about brain function, about aging brains, and there's that dreaded A word,
Yes.
uh,
Yeah.
Alzheimer's, and people who have, what was it, moderate cognition, MIC?
Mild cognitive impairment,
Thank you,
MCI.
MCI,
Yep.
which is what I probably have.
Yep.
No, and a certain percentage and end up with Alzheimer's, and others don't. I think there are a lot of people who worry about these things.
Of course.
Wouldn't it be nice to speak to a trained professional and find out that you're perfectly normal, or normal for our age, or maybe even find out that maybe you want to do something. What if somebody did show up as someone who needs a next or another step? What would that look like?
So by partnering with your organization, for example, if we had concerns about anybody, or if someone had concerns of their own, we would brainstorm with them different resources that are available to them, including your organization, so that they could pursue any assistance that they might need. You know, hopefully everybody is seen by a physician, and hopefully they are keeping those appointments and having those visits, whether they're in person or online. I know
Right.
that's been challenging, and a lot of people have been scared. But you know, now more than ever, it's so important, and so many people over this past year have put things off, including myself. And you pay a price, you know, and there are some times that cognitive decline is reversible. Maybe there's a vitamin deficiency. Maybe you're taking a combination of medications that's not working well together. And those are things that are fixable. So, you know, if there is a worry and it can be fixed, that's great. If there's a worry and it can't be fixed, then wouldn't it be better to know sooner than later, and, you know, have time to do those things that are on your list that are important to you, so that whatever happens in the future unfolds as painlessly perhaps, or as peacefully as possible. And in between all that, have some fun challenging your brain and stimulating your brain, so that you're getting that exercise, you know, that can only help invigorate you and keep your spirits up, and so forth and so on.
Exactly. You know, you've said a couple of times your organization, and I'm thinking, well, I'm the Council on Aging in Gloucester and the Rose Baker Senior Center, but you're also referring to senior care and the organization that's actually sponsoring the joint councils on aging. And that is, I can't stand this now. What is the name of that organization? It's dementia. Oh, I always block out the name of that organization because it's about dementia. And
Right.
those of us who are in the possible danger zone, or imagine that we are, or worry that we are, just that word dementia, just it sort of goes out of one's head. So the dementia care organization is part of senior care. And I imagine that that's the organization you're referring to.
Yeah, I actually, I'm probably referring to a number of different organizations and just not saying them, but the group you work for, Jennifer Lee, and your sponsors, Senior Care has been an awesome partner. I've really enjoyed meeting everybody, the case managers, Linnea, Dory, Carrie, everybody has just been fantastic.
Yeah.
The Council of Aging case managers that I've met are all amazing and so dedicated to the older people that you all work with. It's been amazing. So I guess as organization, it's like one large happy umbrella family, of all of us. And hopefully we're all one organization. Margaret, myself, my other students, we're all working together for the same common cause, really. Yeah.
Yes. And I would like to reiterate that senior care has been extremely helpful and in every way. And I also have enjoyed getting to know these people who
Yeah.
were just names. They're just names on a email or something. And now I know them and I appreciate them.
Absolutely. A really wonderful group of people. Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
So I think we're this is a half-hour show, so we're going to wind up fairly soon. I would like to let people know and see if this works for you the way I'm putting it. I would like people to know that they should be in touch with the local senior center or council on aging here on Cape Ann. So that would be in Essex, um, Gloucester, Manchester by the Sea, or Rockport. And you all know your individual phone numbers, or I will try to put them at the end of this session, get them added on so you can have those numbers. And let them know that you've seen the show and you're interested in participating in the program. The actual program may be a little different in each local center. And Therese, how soon do you think this can get going?
We're already going. So, what typically happens is, as you said, people can contact. So there's a flyer, and I think Jennifer Lee is going to share that after, but also all the councils on aging and senior care are distributing the flyer in different ways as well for how to get involved. And you can either reach out to a person on the flyer through your local council of aging or senior care, or email me directly. And what happens is when I am ultimately notified by somebody of someone's interest, I reach out and we set up a time to talk, explore that initial conversation, which we talked about earlier with you, Jennifer Lee, and then come up with a plan from there. So it's working pretty well so far, and hopefully we'll continue to do so.
Okay. We'll be wrapping up now, and I just wanted to say, Margaret, is there anything you would like to say before we go?
Just that I hope to see more people signing up. I'm very excited. I think this is an awesome program that we spent a lot of time working on and getting ready for. So we're very excited and hope to see some people who are interested.
I'm sure there will be. Here's one. And Therese, anything you want to say just as a last?
Just thank you. Thank you, Jennifer Lee. Thank you, Senior Care. Thank you, Linnea and Dory and Carrie and all of the case managers, including my sister Sheila Taylor at the Ipswich Council on Aging, for your
Oh,
and all of your wonderful work. And to people watching the show, thanks for listening. And if you have any questions, you will know how to find us. So thanks so much in advance, and stay healthy, stay well, and exercise your brains.
exercise your brain and don't let the restrictions keep you from getting your well care. We did a
Right.
show, we're going to try to do another one on how important it is to maintain your physical well-being through this. Thank God you're not, those of us who are not affected directly by the pandemic still need to stay as healthy as we possibly can, and you have to work at that. So thank you both for being with me. I really enjoyed meeting you and hearing about your work, and looking forward to just maybe working with you myself, but certainly to seeing what happens within our communities. I think it's a great asset and a service that we're going to enjoy being part of.
Thank you.
So
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
we'll say goodbye now. Thanks for watching Unleash the Power of Age. Will be shown on so many times a day, you'll be tired of watching us, and I can't wait for that to happen. Okay, everybody, have a great day. Thanks and bye.